What happens when OSHA loses hundreds of inspectors and millions in funding? Will workplaces become less safe, or will something else take its place? OSHA is being defunded. What happens to your workplace safety? The proposed defunding of OSHA is one of the biggest shifts in workplace safety policy in years. Here's exactly what it means for you and your facility. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not legal or compliance advice. Always consult official OSHA sources and qualified professionals for your specific situation. This bar chart outlines the harsh fiscal reality for 2026. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration's budget is dropping from $632.3 million in fiscal year 2025 down to a proposed $582.4 million. While this 8% reduction might look like a standard administrative trim, it signals a transition in how safety is managed. It marks the start of a move away from federal-level enforcement toward a model that places more weight on individual business accountability. The ripple effects of this budget cut begin right here at the Department of Labor headquarters. To meet the new budget constraints, federal payrolls are shedding 223 full-time equivalent inspector positions. These are the men and women tasked with physically visiting work sites to ensure compliance. This line graph visualizes the operational impact of losing those personnel. We are looking at a historic drop in federal inspections, plummeting from roughly 35,000 physical site visits a year down to just under 25,000. On a massive, busy factory floor like this one, that missing personnel translates directly into a lack of physical deterrence. The likelihood of an inspector showing up unannounced to check on daily operations drops drastically. This reduction aligns with a broader political movement in Washington. Lawmakers like Representative Andy Biggs have introduced legislation, such as the OSHA Act, aimed at devolving or abolishing the agency entirely. Without a consistent federal presence walking the floors, the industry faces a highly competitive environment where some companies may choose to cut corners to save money, leaving workers to pay the price in safety. With thousands of inspections wiped off the calendar, you might assume federal oversight is simply disappearing. The reality is quite the opposite. OSHA is gathering significantly more data than ever before. Under new leadership, the agency is pivoting to predictive analytics. Instead of relying on random patrols, they are using algorithms and injury data to remotely pinpoint the most high-risk facilities in the country. New electronic reporting requirements funnel facility data straight into a centralized algorithmic target list. On the March 2nd deadline for submitting 300A forms, if a facility submits inconsistent numbers or misses the date, their data streams turn red, automatically flagging them for a targeted audit. The agency is transforming from a traditional physical patrol force into a remote digital surveillance entity. Your site is being watched and evaluated, even if a federal vehicle never pulls into your parking lot. If the government isn't sending inspectors to physically issue fines for safety violations, who actually holds a company accountable? The answer lies in the insurance market. Private insurance underwriters, relying on a metric called the Experience Modification Rate, or EMR, are now acting as the de facto safety enforcers. If a facility has a spike in injuries, their Experience Modification Rate can jump from a baseline of 1.0 to 1.25. As the dial moves up, the premium cost counter grows exponentially, creating massive financial penalties that dwarf standard OSHA fines. The situation grows more complex when you factor in state borders. While the federal presence shrinks, states like California and Washington maintain incredibly strict local safety plans. Employers operating across multiple states now face a complex patchwork of varying liability traps. A sudden spike in insurance premiums or a multi-million-dollar third-party liability lawsuit poses a far more immediate threat to a company's survival than a random federal citation ever did. Relying on the threat of liability is a defensive posture. To survive this regulatory shift, businesses must build internal safety systems that operate perfectly without any outside oversight. This comparison chart highlights the necessary strategic shift. On the left, we have lagging indicators, tracking injuries or fines after they happen. To succeed, companies must shift focus to the right side of the chart, leading indicators, prioritizing proactive safety training and near-miss reporting. Engaging in surviving cooperative initiatives, such as OSHA's voluntary protection programs, is an effective way to build this institutional resilience and prove your safety record. An internally driven, proactive safety culture is the only viable shield protecting a business against both digital targeting algorithms and crippling insurance premium hikes. You need to review your internal records immediately, identify known high-risk areas like heat exposure and fall protection, and do not let the drop in physical inspections lure your team into a false sense of complacency. Whether OSHA has more or fewer inspectors, the best protection is always a strong safety culture inside your own organization. Workplace safety now lives or dies based on the specific protocols you build and maintain within your own facility every single day. If you want to learn more about OSHA updates, workplace safety, and career strategies, subscribe to the HSE Study YouTube channel.